Sweet Baby Inc. just can't stop fucking games up. Well, the bad news is if you were looking forward to Wolverine on the PS5, unfortunately, they've already messed it up. Jean Grey, who's in the game, this was leaked a while back. Grummz just talked about it. This is from Comic Book News. Says, sorry, folks, but it's hashtag RIP Wolverine, as the consulting company that worked on the failed Suicide Squad game is working on Marvel's Wolverine game. Yep, that's Jean Grey. So this individual, this ugly human being, is Jean Grey. Yeah, one of the most sexiest X-Men characters, dare I say comic book characters of all time, that Wolverine himself and Cyclops have been fighting over. Now looks like a avatar from Pokemon Go. A very gender-neutral, androgynous, non-sexy, jawline, square jawline, ugly face. Look at the arms, no muscle definition, no cleavage. If you look at the little fupa area down here, it even kind of looks like there might be a little mini bit of a bulge. They just did everything that they could to uglify Jean Grey. And I already know how the wokies act. Oh, you guys need some jerk-off material for your games? No, dude. The problem is that companies like Sweet Baby Inc. force video game developers to take the source material, wrinkle it up into a little paper ball, and throw it in the trash can just to check off some check boxes for diversity to get DEI points. You guys, at this point, if you're denying it, saying that video games are making females uglified, if you're denying that, you're just blind. And I know people say again that, oh, you just need something to jerk off in your video games. No, dude, this is not Jean Grey. This is not what we want. This is catering to quote-unquote modern audiences that do not exist. I need to know where this modern audience is. It's like that John Travolta and Pulp Fiction meme where he's looking around. Where's this modern audience that thinks Jean Grey should look like this? Like, how much of a insufferable twat do you have to be to think that this is what people want in their video games? That human beings should all have this lack of personality, individualism, not have any characteristics that make themselves that character. Jean Grey had certain attributes and qualities, dare I say, that made her a babe, essentially. I mean, she had two of the most popular X-Men of all time fighting over her, and now she looks like the GameStop "It's Ma'am." Right? It looks just like her. Almost like a borderline linebacker body. And yeah, people are not happy with this. If you look in the comments, you can see Infinite Tale Chronicles #1 says, Sweet Baby Inc. is doing me a great service. It's been saving me a lot of money because I haven't bought many games these last 5 years. If it's revealed Sweet Baby Inc. is associated with a game, it's an instant no buy. And yeah, I mean, that was the whole point of the Sweet Baby Inc. detected list, that Alyssa Mercante, Chris Kindred, you name it, they all got triggered over because it was targeted harassment. No, it was letting the consumer know, hey, these games might be influenced, and, they didn't like it. Chris Kindred tried to get it censored, take it off completely off of Steam, and that's what's kicked off this whole Gamergate 2.0, because these people don't like when you throw wrenches into their DEI plans. They want their propaganda. They want their woke agendas pushed in. And if your game doesn't have that, they try to shame you. We talked about the Black Myth Wukong stuff going on, where there's an alleged extortion scheme where Sweet Baby Inc. and other consulting firms will come in to development studio, say that your game is not politically correct. You need to check off all these boxes: LGBTQ, person of color, whatever. You need to check off certain boxes, or else we're going to ruin it for you. We're going to make your game fail. We're going to try to cancel you. And it's exactly what's happened. Hit pieces get written, and then, they try to cancel you, and then you panic and you pay them the $7 million or whatever they want. It's happened. Nobody wants this stuff. You can see, you're telling me that's supposed to be this Jean Grey, and you can see all these images of Jean Grey, again, who I said is one of the most hot video game, comic book, movie, music, TV. Every medium of X-Men has always had a gorgeous Jean Grey, but now we're stuck with this weird androgynous GameStop "It's Ma'am" character. You can see Wolvie's supposed to be attracted to that. The gaming market in the West needs to crash. Buying this game was never an option. What do you mean? She looks just like a normal woman. Go touch grass. And apparently they want normal women to look like this. That's what the wokies want. They want normal women to look like that. And in all honesty, like I said before, how narcissistic do you have to be to where when you're playing a video game, you have to relate to the character that you're playing as, or you have to relate to the characters that are in the game? To me, video games are a step away from the real life. I don't want to see political messages in it. I don't want to see propaganda. I don't want to see wokeness. You know, if a character's great, great. But don't make it because of who they're fucking or what race they are. Just make them a good character. Like, why do these people have to have labels on people? Why? I don't understand. I never will understand. And this is infecting all of the gaming market to the point where one of the games that I was looking the most forward to is now infected. Wolverine, PS5 exclusive, is infected by this nonsense. You can see people are calling it out. Just a heads up for anyone thinking about buying Insomniac's upcoming Wolverine game, Sweet Baby Inc. is involved with its production. And Sweet Baby Inc. now is worse than the Scarlet Letter, guys. It's like, it's a badge that you don't want. If you're a video game developer watching this video, I highly doubt it. Don't cave in. If they try to extort you, if they try to cancel you, trust me, you're going to make more fucking money denying Sweet Baby Inc. and getting canceled by Sweet Baby Inc. because people are going to step up and come to the rescue like they did for Stellar Blade, like they did for Hogwarts Legacy, like they're going to do for Black Myth Wukong. That game's going to sell hotcakes just because it's not involved with Sweet Baby Inc. and it's trying to survive this cancellation that the wokies are putting out here. So let's look at some more tweets. You can see Insomniac Games, what the fuck? Thanks for ruining what was going to be an excellent game, Wolverine. I agree. All to give more space to minorities. You don't understand that a large part of us don't agree with what Sweet Baby Inc. does. They're the cancer in video games, and I completely agree with that. They are a vocal minority of people that get offended over lack of diversity when they're anything but diverse. Diversity isn't making an echo chamber and canceling anything that disagrees with you. All right? And to this point, I'm totally convinced these people don't give a shit about true diversity. These people don't care about having true diversity and true DEI and true whatever the fuck they're promoting. They just want something to be pissed at so that they can have their own personal blogs on Kotaku so that they can feel like they're oppressed victims. Because what happens if all these people suddenly are not oppressed? Right? What happens if these people suddenly aren't oppressed? They have nothing to bitch about. They have no identity at that point. They like being the victim. I'm honestly convinced, but you can see this was in response to a tweet where Sweet Baby Inc. announced TWIP and also Synced. So excited and grateful to say we're part of the teams bringing Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine to life with the amazing folks at Insomniac Games. It's been a truly marvelous experience. And this was back in 2021 when Sweet Baby Inc. wasn't as an offending party as they are now before they started doing their crap and ruining video games for us toxic male gamers, as they like to call us in our ilk. Ooh, your ilk. Continue on, you can see on Twitter, Grummz, I mean, he's been killing it with these tweets about it. This is in regards to something the other day where an artist at a different studio, I believe they work for different companies like Rocksteady and so forth, came out and announced that, yes, it is true, they are purposely uglifying female characters in video games to appease the woke agenda, right? And this is something that we've been called tinfoil hat conspiracists for quite some time, but this person came out and flat out said it and announced stuff that we already didn't know. This is a long read right here, but we'll talk about it because there's a lot of stuff to digest in this. So Grummz said, something big happened yesterday, and most people missed it. Every theory we had about the uglification of women in AAA gaming turned out to be true. Look at what happened to Jean Grey from Insomniac Games, Marvel's Wolverine, from those leaked early screenshots of the first beautiful model to the masculine, world-weary version we have today. They are ruining Marvel. And yes, Marvel's Wolverine is a Sweet Baby Inc. game. So yeah, like you remember the Fable remake trailer that came out? They purposely had an ugly character in it. The Horizon Forbidden West and Horizon Zero Dawn games, they made the protagonist ugly. They've been changing Lara Croft every single fucking time we see her. The Silent Hill 2 remake, they made Angela super fucking ugly. The upcoming remake of Perfect Dark, Buzz Lightyear jaw right there. They are purposely making feminine masculine and masculine feminine in video games, and that's to appeal to the transgender gaze, right? So that you don't offend anybody and everybody's gender neutral. It's a weird thing going on, and this albeit confirms it pretty much. So they said, we were told it was the difficulty of scanning actors or just tricks of light and bad screen caps. We were told we were incels for even questioning it. And I've gotten yelled at by people. Oh, you stupid idiot. You really think blah, blah, blah. As a game dev, I know this was BS. As gamers, you knew it was BS from comparisons with Asian games. Yesterday, we found out a principal artist, read this as lead, at major studios, including Naughty Dog, Rocksteady, and Respawn, told the truth. So here's the continuation of it. They said, yesterday, a principal artist talked about their frustration at trying to get his designs for beautiful female characters approved at AAA studios. So he was trying to get beautiful characters approved, and he was having difficulty with it. Every time he concepted every time he pitched them, every time he brought it up at meetings, he was ignored. Inexplicably, each character went from beautiful to grocery store aunties. That's a good description right there. Each revision worse than the last. This is no fan of gamers or GG2. This is liberal, woke dev with a seemingly lot of talent who's bringing you this information, and he hates to have you use it. But he feels strongly enough that even he has to say something. That kind of flowed a little bit weird. But yeah, this is an actual developer, somebody that works at games that is liberal, a lefty, speaking up against this bullshit, who gets frustrated. This is no myth. This is no conspiracy theory. This is happening in AAA, and you were right all along. Why is this happening? And we could see these screenshots. Del Walker. I'm not talking about mild changes. I'm talking about pose, aura, style, softness, age, flair. I hate giving Gamergate men fuel, but it's very difficult to pitch beautiful or vain black women in games without them coming back like grocery store aunties. There is room for both. And you can see right here on the left, I guess this is the model that this character on the right's based off. Obviously, cut their hair, made her look older in the face, uglified them. And he says, for clarity, this is just an example to convey the point. We know this has been happening. Again, we've seen major characters in games, and you can see Del Walker, here's his Twitter account. He's calling it out. You know, it's bad when the wokies are going against the other wokies because they're tired of this stuff being pushed out. They're tired of the agendas, and it's stuff that's not being made up. If you think this is being made up, you're being retarded at this point. And again, Sweet Baby Inc. working on Wolverine. They also worked on the Spider-Man 2 game where they uglified Barry Jane. Now they uglified, Jean Grey. Why does Sweet Baby Inc. feel the need to do stuff like that? Why do they feel the need to mess with dialogue? Why do they feel the need to mess with characters? I mean, just the other day we saw Firecracker in Call of Duty lose their ass. And I know it sounds ridiculous to complain about a video game character's ass, but I mean, it's ridiculous to think that you need to change it at that point for fear that you're going to offend somebody. Like what is the deal? And then the game is also getting trashed. Wolverine's also getting trashed. You can see people are saying PlayStation 1 called, and they want their shitty-ass graphics and poor models back. The missing pixels of Jean Grey of the new Wolverine game with Sweet Baby Inc. at the helm looks to be worse than ugly Sonic after he got ran over by a car. What the fuck is this crap? And, I mean, just look at that. Dead in the eyes. These characters are literally zombies. What did they do to my girl, Jean Grey? What did they do to my bitch? You can see Manga Lawyer, who always puts out bangers on Twitter. This was an older tweet from back in March. He said, do you think this has finished? The corruption just started. Here's your narrative director for the Wolverine game, liking racist posts against white people and melting about Sweet Baby. Yes, the new Insomniac game. There are thousands and thousands of them working in AAA games. And this is right. We got all these people that are like fucking super racist against white people and against gamers, and they like tweets that are super racist, but they call us the hateful ones. They call us the intolerant ones, but these are the tolerant. These are people that do not like us, guys. They do not like video games. Look at all these tweets. Some of you don't seem to understand how narrative consulting on games works, but don't worry, I do. Yes, this is about Sweet Baby because I've worked with that team, and they're one of the finest in the biz. You can't be racist to white idiots like yourself, but you can't be racist to white non-idiots either. You can't be racist to whites, period. They're liking this shit. They're pushing this stuff out. They're infecting the video game industry. They are a problem, guys. They think we're the problem. They think gamers that go against this belief are the problem when we're not. They are the ones that are miserable daily. They're the ones posting the daily outrage. When we speak up with our wallets, when we speak up with our voices and our opinion, they can't have that. They don't like that. That's the issue here. And here's an advanced writer for Insomniac Games, Spider-Man 2, and Wolverine. Paul Mastroianni, I guess I pronounced that wrong, endorses DEI. This is the second writer on Wolverine to support Sweet Baby Inc. And just to get a look at this, anyone consider that video games are made by large teams of diverse people, all looking to see themselves in the media we're making? Also, what if DEI isn't an agenda, but a reflection of what's actually happened in the real world outside your window? I'm sorry, Antifa. It's not a reflection. The reflection of the real world is all of the stuff getting dislike bombed, review bombed, people speaking up, people being angry against this stuff because you're forcing it in there. The other day, the quote, I believe it was from, was it Alyssa Mercante or was it Nick Calandra? It was one of those retards that diversity is natural and that it's not being forced in. No, if that was the case, why does Sweet Baby Inc. exist? You're contradicting yourself. Why do these consulting firms exist? Why do they have to force us to like what they want to put into video games? If it happens natural, it should just happen without any of that. Games made by large teams of diverse people all looking to see themselves in the media. Again, how narcissist and autistic do you have to relate to what you're making in the video games? Nobody likes this shit. Look at it. Well, thanks for you giving me another reason to save my money. So many were hyped for Wolverine, but the moment Sweet Baby's involved, yeah, I'm worried. We shall see what will happen. What's going to happen is this game, yeah, sure, it's going to sell, but it's going to have a lot of woke trash in it. I'm not denying the game will sell. It probably will sell. I'll be impressed if it bombs, but seeing all this stuff, to me, is just big, huge red flags. I mean, look at the actual model. The actual model in real life from Wolverine, Kriza Bajos, who's a beautiful woman, and they made Jean Grey ugly. Nothing that looks like this freaking gorgeous woman. We can't have her look gorgeous, though, in real life, though, guys. This ain't real life, dog. We can't have it. From the Wolverine PS5 game leaks, Jean Grey is the next to get Sweet Babied. Why is she dressing like Gambit? Stick with the older Wolverine game and play your backlogs. And I hear that a lot from people. Oh, thank God there's retro gaming. Are you excited for Insomniac's Wolverine for PS5? Sweet Baby involvement plus Jean Grey looking like a dude in a wig means this game ain't going to be any more successful than Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Now, if this game fails as bad as Suicide Squad did, I will be surprised. If it bombs that bad, because I think there's less than 100 concurrent players on Steam right now for Suicide Squad. If it does that bad, I will be impressed, because we're going to be coming off of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Wolverine's one of the most popular characters of all fucking time. This is an Insomniac game. Sure, there's Sweet Baby Inc. involved in and stuff, but if it does that bad to where it's Suicide Squad, then it's 110% Sweet Baby Inc.'s fault. Especially, you know, the proof will be in the pudding there that people don't want Sweet Baby Inc. involved. Now, here's a trailer posted by Insomniac Games. And TJ Calloway saying, lose the Sweet Baby Inc. influence and rework your Jean Grey design. This game will bankrupt your company if you screw it up. Again, that seems a little bit hyperbole, but I mean, if people are reacting this bad, then I would say these people speak for the majority of casual gamers than anything. And you see, Go Forth report says, Sweet Baby Inc. is added again. In this image below, you can clearly see the retcon Jean Grey to once be known as John Grey. That John line says everything you need to know. When will game companies learn to say no to Sweet Baby's bullying tactics? And I agree that, as we saw from that alleged extortion scheme, they have these bullying tactics where they try to essentially blackmail and extort money off of video game developers to fill out those check boxes. And I'm starting to believe that it's something more and more actual real here. There's just too many coincidences. Yellow Flash, shoutouts to Yellow Flash, says Sweet Baby strikes again. And Go says, Insomniac Games, y'all want to let Sweet Baby ruin your games? That's fine. I won't buy the shit. It started with Miles when y'all gave him the Killmonger dreads for no reason, and y'all changed MJ's face, but now y'all are turning Jean Grey into a trans-looking character, shaking my head. And it's not because we want trans genocide. That's what they always promote, that we want them dead and all this nonsense. No, we just don't want this stuff infecting and forced into our video games. Fucking bullshit nonsense, changing the source material just to appeal to a modern audience. Nobody likes that shit. And final tweet right here. Yet another actress and character getting absolutely butchered by Insomniac and Sweet Baby Inc. First it was Mary Jane, now it's Jean Grey. And you can see right there. Butchered. And then there was the Mary Jane. They're just trying to make the women more realistic. So what, women, there's no beautiful women in real life? You are feminist, but you guys are also insulting women at the same time by trying to insinuate that you have to uglify them. And it's not because of jerk-off material, guys. It's because you guys are obviously doing this to appeal to the LGBTQ transgender narrative. There's no denying it. As much as you think that's tinfoil, this is cringe, and you guys are ruining games. And I know it sounds like such a childish thing to say, oh, you're ruining my video games. If diversity was natural, and it happens naturally, why the fuck do you guys have to force this shit into our video games? Answer me that question. So, Jean Grey and Wolverine looking like, yes, it's ma'am. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.